Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's a Wild Hunt Wednesday, and we got some nasty business once again coming up this week. Again, this is a week of satire. I hope you guys are all enjoying it so far. These decks do get wins, believe it or not, but they just kind of represent like the utter grossness that is this season. This deck is super weird, super fun, and extra heavy on the spice. So we're running Shoop in here for some point value, carryover. Just, wasn't spicy enough as was. We got Sahil. If you haven't used Sahil before, it's a little complex. It's from Thronebreaker, so if you've played Thronebreaker, it makes a bit more sense. If you haven't, it's worth the $10 on mobile. It's half the money on mobile, so just go get it there. And then you can link that with your account to get some excellent value in all the cards that you get from it. You get stuff like Reynard. Oddly, you don't get Sahil, which is weird. Sahil's part of the base game, so who knows. But you get a bunch of other stuff. Totally worth looking into. Highly recommended. Go do it. Anyway, I'm not sponsored. I just really feel that way. We got Lambert's Swordmaster, just punishing tech card. Really good. Just so long as the opponent has two of the same card, he finds value to the 10 provisions. He's nasty. It's nice to have a 6-point card too. Then we got Dormant, Frightener Dormant. Whenever you consume 3 of your own 1-point cards, you're going to go ahead and get that out. So that's pretty nice. Tainted Ale for Punish. Lots of no unit stuff. Nithral is here for Punish as well. He's really great. Highly recommend him. And then we've got a bunch of other random stuff on here. Most of it is just Punish stuff. It's cool. It's all to build up to a Glusty finish. Have fun. Get out there. Play it. That's all I gotta tell you guys. I will say the biggest problem with this deck, as with a lot of these like super weird rando decks, is consistency. I don't know what to tell you. It's hard to get consistency in a Shoop deck. You could run Oniro in this, but you'd have to trim out some other stuff, and that would make it less fun. I did just put the wall up on a Ursine Ritual deck that was using stuff like Lippy. Let's see if we can draw into some fun stuff here. Now, I love this deck on Blue Coin with Nithral. If you're able to draw him, it's just straight up nasty. We do have Bruxa here, so Feast of Blood actually looks kind of nice. The Spear and Tainted Ale help set up for Glusty, and then Frightener is obviously some big finisher points there. But that's kind of the big play that we have, so I'd like to be a little bit more patient with that. Feast of Blood is good, but not fantastic. We'll put that back, and Spores we don't want. So I do like Natural Selection. It does set up some drones for us. That's pretty nice. And we've got other stuff in here. Obviously Sahil, all these other big cards we talked about. But Forktail to put down the Punish. Werecat, same. And then Predatory Dive and Adrenaline Rush is just kind of like short round tempo plays that work really well for us. So it's up to you when you want to do it, but if you ever come into like a deck like this one, you can set up, just perfectly set up for some plays with Glusty by reducing all the opponent's units to 1 point. Then you play Glusty, consume all those units, get Glusty boosted up by a ton of points. It's just kind of up to you when and where you want to do that. Here we're going to try to set it up with Nithral. We'll see what happens. I anticipate something like a Stunning Blow might come down. We do value Last Say quite a bit here because these decks do like to run Igni. So it is something to stay aware of. It's also why I like to have Nithral on blue for reasons like that. But we do what we can. So we are missing Werecat here. That does kind of hamper our flexibility. We'll get out a Parian Phantom. So Parian Phantom also does a good setup on 4-point units by getting those knocked down to 1 all at once. Then we'll use probably Mastercrafted Spear and Tainted Ale to get these down to 1 and try to finish those off with Glusty. We might be able to come up with enough Punish here to remove the opponent's stuff. Alright, okay, we get 2 bleeds out of this Bruxa, so I'm going to start setting those up We're going to set those up onto Knickers since Knickers has the armor. Can't really get around it otherwise. And Glusty's just good tempo. Goliath is just good tempo. Glusty is the finishing play. So the Crow works out pretty nicely for natural selection to get us a couple of those units ourselves. We do run Squirrel in this deck, so it's really good. It's a great card to play to get out against that Champion of Svalbard. We kind of just have to decide how much we value the first round win here. We can get enough points. It's just going to take some building. We might be able to like save Frightener. The only thing you have to be aware of with Frightener is you need to have a way to destroy your own units. Predatory Dive can work for that. Forktail can work for that. You just have to have some access to that. Here I think we're going to set up Mastercrafted Spear. And we're just going to get started working against some of these units. So all the 2s and 1s work best for us for this. I did say natural selection would work well against the Crow. That's true, but we're going to just try to set up as many 1s as we can in a short period of time with Mastercrafted Spear. And then you can just use leader charges to get up to the exact number you need for Glusty. Otherwise, you can just save a few of them and then play them with Forktail and Frightener. That makes for good value as well. So Parasite can be helpful to keep you in dominance for Nithral. On its own, it's good against the 7-point card to get it down to 1. Sometimes you see Torsic Invaders in these other decks. But the opponent kind of here in a weird spot where we can like really put the punish on rather quickly. Here I think we'll go for Tainted Ale. And we'll start working the 4s down to 3s. That way we can go Tainted Ale charge onto each of these 3. And here the opponent is going to lose a considerable number of points. All of these lining up nicely for Glusty.
Don't you pester me.
And Glusty is able to get up to 16 on its own with our Arachis Swarm. And then we're going to be able to get 2, 4, 6 more points out of this. 6, 8. And the opponent will lose 4. And then another 6 on top of that. So they'll go down to 29. So we're still very much within range. It does require some quick math, which can be a little bit obnoxious, but it's very much doable. So here we're just going to start working on this Savage Bear, getting it down. And then I think we're actually going to go for Frightener here, just because we know we can get it out this round. And the Bruxa going down to 1 point is fine with us. Obviously triggering the Thrive is helpful, but not necessary. The opponent trading Heat Wave against the Frightener is hurtful, but it's not really all that powerful against us. Then we're here able to set up the Savage Bear play. And I do want to get the opponent down as much as I can. Again, that threatening Igni can be a little bit obnoxious here. Now I could get down the Champion of Svalbard, but I don't want to because you can use that leader ability to get that damage out. The Goliath here is starting to look pretty nice, as well as natural selection. I think we will go for a Goliath just to make the math a little bit easier on ourselves. The one good thing about Lippy decks is they don't like to play out every single one of their cards, because typically one of them is something they need to hold over for a different round. Welcome to Slav Squirrel, as always, joining on stream. Great to have you. We're just up recording this Glusty video, and I gotta do quick math, so we need to go up by a bunch of points. I get to start off with the easy side of this. We'll get these guys down, and then we're gonna get 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 points. He's gonna lose 5 to 28. That puts him at 16. So we'll go to 28 as well with 1 charge of Tainted Ale. We don't even have to use any leader charges here. So that's what we are going to do. My math is good there, right? We're about to find out how good my math is. Perfect. And then we get the Thrive from Bruxa, so this is just extra pudding on the cake. So there we are, getting good value. Obviously, we had to play a bunch of our really good cards there, so that's a little bit unfortunate. But Lambert plays really well into the final round. We're going to just try to put up as much pressure as we can, as quickly as we can with this next round. Shoop is a really fantastic way of doing that. So I kind of want to game out how many cards I'm willing to play. I think Endrega Larvas obviously play better in a really long round, but don't have a ton of options here, and I would like to force the opponent to play a bunch of stuff he wouldn't normally want to play. So we'll go for them here. We can play Parasite to remove something, and then Shoop. We're going to be looking for Shoop Knight. Shoop Knights are played for the most points typically, but getting this Resilience Knight is a great boon to this deck. Then you can use stuff like Predatory Dive with a leader charge. I can also use Adrenaline Rush to get him boosted up. So lots of flexibility there. This is really annoying. It is some punish on us, and these Endrega Larva is now kind of victim to that punishment. We're just gonna go for Shoop here. We'll go for Shoop Knight and see how lucky we are. Here we go. Gain resilience. It's exactly what we wanted. And we go up to 10 points, obviously taking this bleed, and then it's going to go down to 8. So the opponent does need to come up with 6 points, which is actually, oddly, a little bit difficult to do, unless you have Becker's Rock Slide, and it's just obnoxious. Yeah, we're going to lose these units, so we're not really in the best position here. Alright, we're going to use Parasite. We get 6 points of boost, and then we're going to go down by 2. So we're going to go down to 7. We'll just need to make a 3-point play. That being the case, we're just going to drown them out with a bunch of these. We don't really have any more use for them. We'll keep one, or we'll keep 2 of them, just in case. But forcing out a 6-point play is probably a good position here. We see Oniro come down. That's the second half of Oniro. So we forced out the Lippy Flip into this round. I'm actually pretty happy with that. Also means that the opponent has to get lucky with some of the plays. Now Sahil needs to have a 2-point unit to kill. So even though we won't have last say, we're just gonna go ahead and take the pass here. I'm pretty happy with this. Obviously, this is like one of the best tempo plays that can be made. They may have a Mata. They don't have any of these things. They might have Crow Messenger to play out of the graveyard with it. But they do have to go first, and we do have Predatory Dive, which I'm happy to see. Night Wraith isn't superbly helpful, and Pact is even less so. Adrenaline Rush is really good value for us. Adrenaline Rush always plays with 9 points with this leader ability because we boost by 8 and then we get 1 drone for free. Happy to see Shield Maidens here. Obviously, I think they bricked here, so we're just going to go ahead and start off with a Predatory Dive. You could, if you want to, build in stuff like Noon Wraiths and then kill them yourself and set up for damage with Sahil. So Sahil can be a little bit clunky here. Especially in a short round, it's really not all that useful. So, but we'll go ahead and play it down. 1 point is better than no points. So the trick with Sahil is you want to get those 1-point death blows, and then the next time, in 2 more turns, it's going to get 2-point hit. And then if you get death blow with that, it'll get 3-point hit, and etc. etc. Obviously, the maximum number you can get if you played it as your first card, you would get it back all the way up to 5. but that takes a lot of finagling. This deck does have a lot of like precision removal hits that we can do. Now we do want to get out Endrega Queen, and we do want to get that to ranged onto a different drone. That way we can play this Adrenaline Rush to greater effect. But Lambert works really well here to kind of put down the punish and then allow us to set up for the Sahil play. So we'll go ahead and get him out next. But again, like I said, we want the Endrega Queen here. Adrenaline Rush has to be to a unit on the same row, and we want the Endrega Queen to take out those 2 1-point drones so we can get max value. And Sahil's going to come back this next round. It doesn't really matter if we get that removal or not. The opponent here is shutting down Endrega Queen pretty effectively. We're going to give it one more play to see if Lambert will line up a little bit better. We're going to get Sahil back in 2 turns, but by then we won't have any cards left anyway. So we'll go for the Arrakis Swarm leader charge here, and this is really helpful with Adrenaline Rush. Gives us 9 points, then we get the extra drone spawning to a random row, so that works pretty well. Curse of Corruption. Man, I haven't seen one of those in a little while. We did forget to use Sahil last turn.
A bit of respect.
So you gotta have a little bit better play than I've had in order to win. The opponent did break into some stuff too, so just bad plays from me. Man, but they got Karathi Heatwave back again. Recycling Heatwave should be... I feel like Heatwave should definitely have Doomed on it automatically. I feel like that should definitely be a card you can only play once. Alright, let's jump into another game. I'm still trying to get the hang of this deck. It is a little complex. It does require some math, some like individual plays. And it plays really well against certain decks. Obviously, like Lambert against like a Firesworn deck is just brutal. He'll just kill off all of those Firesworn Zealots at once in one fell stroke. It's a pretty mean play. We do get Sahil early here. Double Cross is going to find some clunkiness with Shoop, so we might just like save Shoop for later. I don't think Squirrel's going to find a lot of value. Coup de Grace or Oniro would be the typical grab, so we'll keep it just in case. We'll try to get some better tempo plays here with Endregas, Natural Selection, Astriga, Mastercrafted Spear, and Tainted all work well. But I do recommend just continuing your mulligans because Glusty is such an important card to get here. Frightener is also really helpful. Like you saw though, it can be susceptible to Heatwave. We did miss Nithral, so we might actually want to go for a quick like 3-and-out here with some big tempo plays like Endrega Larva, Goliath, etc. We do want to keep an eye on this double cross because the opponent is going to be able to play a card from her hand. They do get something with more armor. No idea what it is. See Magna Division come down. Kind of denies us dominance unless we play Goliath. And I don't foresee anything with just like 1 hit point coming down. I think we are going to go for Goliath here, just so we can set up the dominance play with Striga. Trying to bait out Neuromancy, Coup de Grace, something of the like. So the opponent here just trying to stay up against dominance, it looks like. And what we're going to do, we're going to use the Mastercrafted Spear here to set up The death blow against the Iron Falcon Bandit. What's the heal? And here the opponent's summoning their highest unit to the range throw, which I find to be a little strange. We do probably want to kill off Stefan Skellen here. Don't really have a great way of getting at it. So a different thing that we can do is to take the Almighty Pass. But we are actually just going to play a little bit longer to force out some of our opponent's best cards prematurely here. You go ahead and keep pinging away at this Iron Falcon Troubadour. And I think what we'll do... Let's go ahead and use Striga on Skellen. We get the thrives that way. We're starting to tighten the gap. You do always want to check your own draw pile to see what your highest value card is, not highest provision. What this obviously Skellen. I'm guessing they had other 5s that probably tied with Skellen. Here now Skellen just cutting it a little bit close for the opponent, forcing them now to make choices prematurely. We're okay with that. So we'll tap this Iron Falcon Troubadour with Sahil, and then we can set up the kill on Skellen in 2 rounds after that. I'd like to be able to play the squirrel onto something, but not seeing much yet. Attorney Joust is a bit weird. But the opponent just pausing here for on Skellen for some reason. Not quite sure why they opted to let this pass by, but you know, everyone gets to make choices. Shoop is probably going to be what we're grabbing for here pretty soon. Both to trigger these thrives as well as to try to get some resilience. The Knight also gives you an option of hand boost, which isn't bad at all, and then the lock also could be helpful here to shut down the Skellen if the opponent continues to let him ride. So obviously we don't see anything of value for the squirrel here, but I'm fine with that. We're gonna just go ahead and play it out. Well, we could try to go for the Shoop for the carryover though. Nilfgaard does struggle with those 1-card plays. So let's see what we get. I'm guessing that Skellen was just not what they wanted. Resilience does come out. Pretty happy about that. It does tell the opponent I don't have any copies of anything, but they don't know what I have, so. And here we're at 4 cards left in hand, so we get a carryover 4. Obviously they can make plays to just erase the Shoop, but they need to put something onto the board in order to get full value. Frightener looks good. The Squirrel's just not going to find value for us because we're going to go ahead and take the pass. We're still missing Glusty, which is a bit unfortunate, and that can happen to you. So it is something to keep in mind. Tainted Ale can allow you to attack your own units. We'll just take the hard pass here, force the opponent to either make a really expensive spend to get up in tempo, or have to play 2 cards so we can get double last say. The opponent opts for leader usage, which is a bit strange. Parasite does get some value there. It's possible they have like a Damien. Guessing this squirrel comes out looking for our Goliath to deny value on a potential Ozril. We don't have it, so we don't care. Slav Squirrel has been testing out an awesome Shoop mill deck. So we're going to have to get testing that soon. But this is a week of satire. We have a bunch of gross stuff lined up for you. Don't you worry. Don't you fret. Oh, I actually wanted that. Oh, Feast of Blood is really helpful against decks where you fear a defender. It just finds excellent value. We can't all be geniuses. We're going to be hopefully getting some awesome wins right up in here with this deck, though. I'm feeling pretty good. The opponent does come down with Hefty Helga. Biggest problem with Hefty Helga in a situation like this is it is an immediate victim to a predatory dive. We still have Parasite in hand. We're going to go ahead and get out Frightener. It's just a good patience play. The opponent's probably going to remove stuff here. So if it's going to get removed, we might as well set up for the value. Here comes the Heat Wave. Not really all that surprising. I don't really want to allow this Johnny to keep getting value. I don't have a great way of setting up other value here. So we're going to want to consume this Night Wraith with Andrega Queen eventually. She's going to get 2 rounds of drones, and then we'll get a bunch of rats. So knowing all of that to be the case, we're going to just go ahead and get Parasite down here on Johnny. We do want to get out Nithral at some point, but seeing Johnny, seeing Helga, and all this other stuff, I think we're probably in an okay spot. Obviously... Oh, we're gonna have a few problems if the opponent comes out with our good old friend here. This is why we should have kept Feast of Blood. So this would have purified. We could have purified off Fifion last round. Although there's not a whole bunch we could have done about Damien. Alright. I'm just knocking down this Fifion so that Nithral gets maximum value. He's probably going to stick his stuff behind a defender anyway, so. He does refresh, gets leader back, and Letho's going to come down for more. Oh! Alright, we'll see what we can force him to keep. Adrenaline Rush is useless for him. Glusty gets him 1 grab. It also gets him Dominance, but we're just going to go ahead play around that a little bit here. He's going to get 1 more reset. I really want them to change Double Cross. I think that this is a perfect example of Nilfgaard once again just being forgotten to a negative for other players, but just kind of obnoxiously. Another Glusty coming down for 8 points. Oh, luckily we get Last Say, but this is obnoxious. Opponent shouldn't be able to play 2 cards in a turn. That was something that was supposed to be fixed with the leader revisions just recently. But somehow, once again, Nilfgaard misses out on getting some necessary improvements and instead, you know, gets a bunch of problems. What else is new? Alright, you might go for the lock on the Night Wraith. Should be unfortunate, but certainly not the end of our universe. He goes instead for the bleed. It's a little weird. So we lose 2 points here. That's fine. This is still more value. Just want to consume her and get out these rats. What would it be like if Nilfgaard got to play our best card not once, not twice, possibly 3 times? Okay. Oh my gosh.
I've been waiting a long time for this.
I'm not a super happy camper right now. You might have just gathered that from how I just acted, but I'm a little tired. Game just has like a few rough edges that really need to be fixed, and that was one of them. Able to play our best cards. Not once, not twice, not 3 times, 4 times. If you remember first round, they still played one of our cards. So they were able to play our cards 4 times this game. This is going to get them close, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. The unfortunate thing here is we're forced to eat our own units and none of the opponents, and he killed off those rats with Lambert, so really lucky play there. Obviously, I'm annoyed. Oh, man. Alright, we're going to jump in one more game and show you guys how it works, and hopefully it's not a Nilfgaard deck where we forget and put Feast of Blood back into our deck. We could have at least we couldn't have gotten to the first Damien, but we could have gotten to the second Damien. The Letho Kingslayer Damien. That would have shut down one of those Glusties, would have caused him problems. And he gets more and more looks into our hand every time that happens too. I think the opponent was smart to not keep delaying, because we would have played the Glusty at such a time that we could have gotten around some of that. He did prematurely play that Heat Wave though on the Frightener, which was a little weird. We get good plays here. Overwhelming Hunger is difficult to play against. Just rough. Although my spirit is somewhat lifted every time we play against decks that are just able to put up more points than Grossness decks, I think it's a good snapshot of the meta to just see how much obnoxiousness is going on. Squirrel's helpful. Ardgaith, Ickern, etc. We're just going to keep all this because I like what we have. Ooh, yes, love coming up with great points. So there isn't going to be any there aren't going to be any balance changes, but we will have a new draft mode, and we will be doing a lot of arena, which is going to be a lot of fun. So as much of a bummer as that is in some ways, that there aren't any changes incoming, we are still going to have fun. So we don't have Sahil here, so we don't have to worry about kind of like setting up that. Striga probably would find some good value here. I'm going to play Striga for a couple reasons. 1, denies value. 2, it forces them to use this magic lamp in order to use riders. Also, if it is a Bruxa play, which it is here, we can go ahead and use Draga Queen to set up some consumes. So we get the consume on the Striga to prevent the bleed, get some drones coming out, and then we prevent the riders from being able to be played as we have dominance. Alright, Gales tells me that they're likely playing Ardgaith. So we get good value from the squirrel here. Does knock off this armor, which prevents some value, that's fine. But now we don't have to deal with the Ardgaith again. I feel weird in situations like this because I can't herald that deck as the best deck if it doesn't play the best, right? Dragon Queen is a great move. Get maximum value that way. I don't really want to play into this Frost anymore, so we're going to go ahead and take a pass here. And then we can play Shoop at the end of next round to kind of close it out. Get the resilience carryover. I think the opponent is going to play a lot of units, so we're going to need to bring as much pain and punish as possible. Hopefully go to like get them down to 0 cards. Cave Troll is a possibility. Spores are excellent. We don't have Bruxa, so I'm going to put that back. Oh, I weep. I weep, my friends. Spores is really helpful against this deck. I really do like all of our other cards. It would be nice to get Frightener, and it'd be nice to get Thrall. I'm going to try to shoot for that. Parrying Phantom is great. Parrying Phantom is excellent. Alright, Predatory Dive works perfect here. This is a nice ticking engine that gives them a consume. We can shut that down. I think I need to just build in Frothy Heatwave into all of my grossness decks. That's probably an oversight. But now we force everything to get channeled through the Barghest, which works really well for us. We're also going to get a nice setup for Sahil. Not this turn, but the next turn. Oh, or nothing. So Shoop can get you enemy artifact destruction with Hunter. But I really want to force everything through the Barghest, and the Night Wraith is going to get us some value with Sahil. It's not going to get it quite yet, so I actually kind of want to get Sahil out now. And it is an enemy unit for anyone wondering, so no, I can't target my own drone. Yeah, but if I can channel everything through Barghest, we'll be in an okay place. The reason for that, so this is a little weird. So I guess they're going for the consume on the NL Conqueror, which is even better for us, just more value. But this allows a second consume, the opponent looking forward to that onto the Night Wraith, and then we can just reset it back down to 5 points. They lose dominance, and we find the most value that way. Might be like an Icaran. Oh, Manticore. Manticore great here, just to erase our Phantom. I love it personally. I mean, it's not working out great for me, but I like what I'm seeing. Alright, so we get the kill on one of these rats. We're just going to go ahead and take that. And then I think we actually will go for the reset here. Actually, let's hold off on that. We'll go Mastercrafted Spear, and we'll knock down this Night Wraith. Obviously, he gets 2 more points from it, but because of the rats that spawn, but we can use those with Glusty. And I kind of want... Right now, I'm trying to play for time. I want him to feel like I'm kind of in it a little bit, but also like he can pull away and just ruin us, right? So right now, I kind of want to deny some of these dominance plays using Spores and Goliath. So we're just going to get one of those out. And then he's just like a little bit closer. Right, so we can go 2, and then hopefully get this down to 3 by the time Sahil's ready and get value that way. But right now, we don't even have to use that many leader charges with Goliath or with Glusty to get value. Oberon Invader coming down, potentially with a Wild Hunt, and the opponent using Overwhelming Hunger here onto possibly this Night Wraith. So Death Blows will just kind of do it for Sahil, and I think that's probably what we're going to go for. We might see these Ekamaris come out. Alright, let's get rid of this Thrive Engine. We get an extra drone. unfortunate to have to kill off a 1-point unit because it would be useful to us. Another option here, we could have and maybe should have done Lambert against these Wild Hunt Riders. But here the opponent just stepping on the gas, trying to get away from us.
Now that's the kind of negotiation.
But trust me when I say we've got more in the tank. We can do some crazy, crazy stuff with Glusty here. And just trying to pedal for time a little bit. I want the opponent again to feel like they can win. So we'll go for this 3-point death blow. That gives us a 4-point setup in 2 turns for Glusty onto like Oberon. Let's go for Shoop. And we're gonna go for Knight. And we get what we want. So now the opponent's starting to feel the burn. Maruna comes down, potentially grabbing one of these units. So we're kind of like, by all means, go ahead and take it. Okay, so we can get 1, 2, 3. So they go down to 44. We go up to 12 here, 14, and then another 10. It's 24 points. So we do need to play Goliath here, and we do need to go one more turn. So on here we will set up this 4-point play. There's no reason to kind of drag it out any longer. Okay, so now the opponent is going to go down by 4 points to 39, and then we will get boosted up by 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 points. So we need to get out 39, 16. So we need to get out 3 of these. I think that's good math. It might be bad math. We'll find out. I might have overshot. Nope, just okay. So I overshot by 1 drone. I think so. 2 was the right number there. Should have calculated that out just a little bit better. But I'm not displeased because we get to carry over Shoop, and the opponent just goes ahead and takes the pass. So that's how it should work. You do have to bait your opponent into making some misplays. But we beat the best. We beat the best, except it had Oberon, so it's not the best. It's not the best deck. The best deck doesn't have Oberon. Oberon's trash. Even if you get excellent plays like that. I mean, they got the best play with those riders. And we beat it. Maybe it's 3rd best. We'll call it 3rd best. Anyway, thank you so much for joining on YouTube. Let me know what you think down in the comments down below. I need to pilot this deck more to be a master at it, but you can probably be better than me. And if you are, and you make tweaks to make this better than me, please let me know. I would like to hear them. Until next time, during this week of satire, I hope you're having a good time, keeping your spirits up as much as you can, and having some good laughs with us. I hope to see you guys on the Flip D Flop. Till then, good luck on the path. Get out there. Keep on Gwenting.